Alright, cool. Unpopular opinions, rule 34. Let's get it. Going Dutch on a date should be the norm, and anyone who disagrees is a freeloader. I mean, it's 2024. We're not on the 40s anymore. You're meeting someone for the first time. Make it make sense. Why would you want to spend money on someone who might turn out to be an absolute a-hole or a person with a personality stinkier than an unwashed armpit? And anyone who doesn't believe it is just looking for a free meal. No, I mean, I agree. I think like whenever you have a first date, if it's someone that you don't know, you're meeting for the first time. Let's say it was like through like friends, like, hey, listen, I'm gonna pair you up with this date, or like a blind date, or maybe it was like through a dating app and all that stuff. Going out on like little coffee dates, pretty simple, pretty good, nothing too much. Or like maybe going to McDonald's. I know some girls may not like that, whatever. I just don't think you should spend too much on a date, because I ain't trying to spend like a whole, like, I'm not trying to buy you maybe like a rose or something, but I'm not trying to buy you like a bouquet of flowers. I'm not trying to pick you up on a horse. I'm not trying to rent out some fucking armor, and then who knows, maybe I'm like on a horse trying to get to the day, and then I get hit by a car and all that shit, whatever. I don't know. I think, yeah, like, for if it's like a first date, it should be something a little bit simple. You can pay for it. I think the guys like should pay for it, the whole thing. But to be fair, anything crazy, like a little coffee date, you know, maybe go to Starbucks or some shit like that. I think progressively, as you get to know them, then you spend more money on each date. Another thing too is like you can spend you can't spend a few bucks on the first date. I think if you already known them for a while, like if they were a friend or like maybe a coworker, or if you've talked to them or you hang out like with them at social gatherings and all that stuff. If you've known them for a little bit and you already know what they're like, then yeah, you can maybe go a little bit more on the first date. But if it's someone that is kind of a little bit new in your life, then for sure I think something small is a good way to start it. If it's cold outside and everyone is wearing winter clothes, places should be heated just enough to be comfortable in warm clothes, not for shorts and t-shirts. If it's 2 Celsius outside and everyone's wearing coats, sweaters, why is everyone heating it like 20? The public transportation stores, my university lecture hall. I dress appropriately for the weather outside, walk through the door of my uni, and I feel like I'm assaulted by a summer day. Even after getting out of my coat, my sweater is still too warm. And some when entering the grocery store or stepping into the bus. Why is everything heated so much? Everyone is wearing winter clothes and uncomfortable, and heating less would save a lot of money. No, I get it. I get what he means. Like, there's some times where I'm dripped out, bro. I mean, I'm in Texas, so it's kind of hard to really, like, you can't really stock up on the clothes. Like, in Texas, people still go out, like, in a t-shirt and shorts during the winter, so, yeah. But, like, in Texas, you know, I'd be looking drippy. I have some drip with my hoodie and all that stuff, but I'd be looking good. But the minute I step into, like, Target or, like, Walmart or, like, any restaurant, I'm getting cooked. Dude, straight out. Like, I'll be looking fly as hell as a motherfucker outside, and when I go inside, I start sweating. I'm like, god damn, bro. Like that. So it's the price to pay. I think one thing is it's a little bit hard though to like kind of find that right temperature. Some people get cold a little bit easier than other people, and some people get hotter a little bit easier than people. We're all kind of different, so finding that middle, maybe you can find just a little bit of that middle ground where everyone's kind of neutral about it. But I mean, it's still pretty hard to predict that. But yeah, I mean, I can kind of agree, but I also think it's just hard in general just to do that whole thing like, okay, so if it's this degrees out here, then we have to like find the perfect degree so that people can come inside and not get too hot, not get too warm. I don't know. But I do kind of agree, and I see what this person's saying. The next one is typical modern wedding is awful. Nah, I mean, it makes sense. I think this is like the 3rd time that I've read this. Everyone keeps posting about this shit. Like, but weddings are fucking awful. Like, everyone puts that on the Reddit, and I see it multiple times. So I'll make this one a little bit quick. Yeah, I mean, I get it. Some people don't like weddings. I mean, I'm not too fond of weddings. I think it's a lot of money that goes into that, and you just have like a weddings are always the same. You know, you rent out a ball, some shit like that. Rent out some ball area. Everyone starts dancing. You invite Diddy. Drake pulls up for some reason with like high school girls and all that shit. It goes a little bit crazy, but I think they're all kind of the same. Dance, pictures, and there's drinks, and then that's it. Like, sure, I guess I would for sure want like a more personalized wedding where it's like in my backyard and have like all my friends and family, all that shit, and then we play Mario Kart. No, I'm just kidding. But like, yeah, I think for sure I would save my money to go like on a vacation rather than like a full-on crazy wedding. That's just me though. People look inwards too much when talking about struggles in their social life. I think people often try to figure out what's wrong with themselves when they are struggling to find friends or romantic partners, thinking they're too awkward, boring, and not good looking enough, when they're perfectly fine just hanging out in the wrong groups / not putting themselves out there enough. When you're around people who match your interests, intellect, etc., you often find it easy it is to socialize and start a conversation with somebody, and oftentimes those are even people you would have thought are out of your league. But too many people give up and lose their confidence because they haven't found them yet. This is interesting. Okay, so the first part where he says that if you can't make friends or find a romantic partner, it's probably just because you're not in the right place. I can kind of attest to that just because I feel like if you really want to make friends, if you're going out of your way to make friends, I think the easiest place to look at is just find people with your same interests, because if you guys have the same interests, you guys already have like talking points to get started talking, and just like work your way up from there, you know. So I think like just going to places where if you like coffee, going to coffee places or like some shit like that, or if you like games, going to this game, you can make friends on there and all that stuff. Just finding people with the same interest and hobbies, you could probably make friends. If you really want to make friends, I think you can just by going to places and having the same people that are a little bit like you, and that, you know, can be interest. And then the second part where he says that some people look too much inside to them rather than, you know, like it's just your confidence and all that stuff. Like a lot of people, it's fine to have insecurities and all that stuff. It's fine to say I am the problem and all that stuff. Just like a lot of us tend to be a little bit more rude to like we are our own worst enemy, you know, our brain and all that stuff. Like when we get insecure, you know, we get hella insecure about it, and also like if we think that we're the problem, we'll beat ourselves up for sure. Like we'll go too crazy. I think just finding little things about you, they're like, okay, maybe I can't change this because I don't think people are starting to like it. I think that's really good. So I just don't think you guys should be a little bit too rough on yourselves, you know? Like there's something that you may think is a really bad problem, but in reality, like, it's nothing crazy. Like you're good, don't worry about it. Like sometimes we do beat ourselves up a lot, and I mean that just happens, you know, whether it's like social anxiety or just insecurity and all that stuff. It'd be like that, but it's fine. I mean, confidence can help. Once you are confident with yourself and all your insecurities, you go live it up, bro. You gonna go crazy and all that shit. So like having confidence helps too with that. But like if you're insecure, I get it. But I think eventually you'll get over that, and you'll finally be confident with who you are. Because that's the best thing about it, you know. Like once you're confident with who you are, what you bring to the table, all that stuff, life is so easy. But hey, that's just me. And the last one is gatekeeping hobbies is perfectly fine. People tend to hate gatekeeping for being elitist, but I honestly think that it's okay to make barriers to entry a bit harder. There are a lot of examples of things that used to be more niche getting more wanted down the more popular they became. Gatekeeping basically ensures that whichever hobby, interest, location it may be stays true to itself instead of devolving in an attempt to please more and more people whose interest in it might be more superficial, basically being only interested in it because it got popular than for the core members. I'm pretty sure we all know something that's just not as it used to be it a TV show, a club, video game franchise, a music band, or even your local fishing club. And yes, things need growth. I am not against it. I just think that there is nothing wrong with wanting it to keep its core values and expecting newcomers to fit in, not the other way around. So yeah, nothing against growth, but there is nothing wrong in gatekeeping a bit to ensure newcomers are willing to do some work before they become part of it. Okay, so I don't think this guy really wants... I see what he's going for. I just don't think he worded it right. To me, you know, it sounds like he wants to gatekeep people for just being new. Or I guess not putting that much effort into going into it. It's fine. I think having people wanting to get into the hobby and being new, I think that's totally fine. I think you should support that. I think it just means like people who I guess kind of disrespect the hobby or not take it serious. That's what he wants to gatekeep from. But that's more of like people with that personality, or just those. What he wants to gatekeep is he wants to gatekeep people who don't put that much respect into the hobby or don't take it as serious as they should and all that shit, which is a little bit weird. But I know what he means. He just wants to take out like I guess like the douchebags or the assholes of that hobby, you know, like toxic people. There's always gonna be toxic people when it comes to like groups and all that shit. Like there is gonna be a little bit of that toxic stuff, and that's what he wants to keep out, like those toxic personalities that people bring into the hobby and all that stuff. And you can't really do that, you know. It's kind of hard to define that way. He makes it sound like he wants to gatekeep new people and all that shit because maybe they're not doing it right. But no, you should help the people that are new, that are trying to get into the hobby, because you can help them and they can do it right. But there's always gonna be a few bad apples in the bunch, and that's how it is. That's how it be. So I don't think gatekeeping hobbies is perfectly fine, but I do think, you know, like gatekeeping the assholes of the hobbies is a good thing. That's just how I see it. At least that's what I'm inferring from this one, for sure. But yeah, that's it. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see y'all in the next one.